Okay, I am back in adult coloring book. It's book number 4, Still Life, and this is by Alan Kosky. They do quite a few now. I will point out this says advanced on it. Well, there we go. They do quite a few books through an AI program, but unlike many others, I have noticed in their recent books, they are going back up in and cleaning up all the little edges and stuff that kind of look a little off. So I really appreciate this book. And if you missed the review on this, I did a review on this book back last month, I think. I've been away for a bit, so, and we'll get into that in a bit. I'll get everybody caught up. I am using the Grizaye pencils, number 21 Honey, number 19, which is Ochre, and number 63, which is Terracotta. Then I've got my greens, and basically you're seeing that I'm using a light, a medium, and a dark. Okay, just makes it easier to color. And these are oil-based pencils. Okay, so you can go to grizaye.com and look those up. And I will say they're flat on the edges so they don't roll off your table. They're just wonderful to work with, and they do sell them individually. Okay, so go look them up. Apple, which is number 82, Grass, which is 26, and then Olive, which is 32. And then the last ones that I've pulled for this project is Poppy, which is number 5, Red, which is number 3, and Henna, which is 62. Let's just get started. I want to try to bring you in where you can really see what I'm doing. So let's just start with this big tulip right here. And hopefully, because I didn't bring a watch or anything back here, a phone even, hopefully we won't run over time-wise. This is Poppy. All right, so my lightest shade is going to be where the lightest areas are. I also use my lightest shade to come back and blend everything. Now, if you're new to coloring, I do talk through all my videos. I do almost everything, if not everything, in real time. And I hope you enjoy. All right, so I haven't done a video in weeks, maybe a month. Everybody is still doing fine. It's a continuing saga of Granny, who is my mother-in-law. She treats me more like a granddaughter than my mother treated me, hence the name Granny. And her and my husband's stepdad of like 7 years now both have dementia. And so, yeah, it's getting worse. The stress level is just, I was not in a good place. But, I mean, I'm okay. I don't have bad thoughts or anything like that. I don't want anybody to start worrying. I just knew that I wasn't in the mood for coloring. I did not pick up a coloring pencil until last week. So I've been doing a lot of crocheting. I have been doing some paper quilling, and I've been filling up my Etsy shop. So yeah, quite a bit going on in that realm. I just found it easier to not have to converse with people, not have to try to tell how I felt, and to be able to just sit and crochet in front of the TV set and binge watch different shows. So that's what's up with me. Still tired fairly easy, but doing okay. My hernias, I feel like, have completely all healed up. The cough that I had sneaks back up on me occasionally, but I'm doing okay with that. I am stress eating, and I know it. So, yeah, so that's how I'm doing. All right, I am going to change over to that medium shade. Now, this is my red. It was number 3. Now that I've done the light areas, and you can see I left a bit of white or background color popping through. The reason for that is you don't want these edges to all be the same color. So I leave a bit so I can come back in with the next color and see, by going a little bit darker here, it makes this look like it's tucked underneath this. All right, so watch where your darks go and where your lights go. And this red almost looks like it has a pink cast to it, but that's going to be okay, because when I come back later and blend everything with the lightest color, it's going to brighten it up a bit more again. Okay, so I'm coming right up next to that. Okay, getting it in that color. Now also, this is rolled. So this right here, this part, would be a little bit darker than this part. See how this is buried down behind this and this? So all of this on this edge is going to be darker. So just go ahead. And if you've got the book, you're more than welcome to follow along. Got no problem with that. In fact, I encourage it. Or if you've got a page that's got flowers that's similar, you can take the techniques that I show you and use them on that page. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get some color down in here. It's going down to the stem area. It's going to be darker. Your light's coming up from here, and even if it's bouncing off a leaf and back on, it's still going to be darker at this base. Unless your flowers are wilting, and then it'll be darker up around the top. Okay, there we go. Just get these colors put in there. And then there was a line here. So see how that pushed this back around a little bit, made it look like it was turning. All right, so that's what we want. We want this to look more dimensional, and that's why we're taking the time to add more color. There was a little bit of line there, I think, and a little bit here. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is come in with that darkest shade. This is that henna. So this is number 62. This is a brown that is red based. So when you start with this, start somewhere where you want it darker so you can see how it's going to react. Okay, because it is a bit darker, and you don't want this just to go dark on you. And see, I'm doing this area even darker so that it looks like it's tucked back in there. Same thing over here. That's tucked down in. Then I'll do some here and just kind of get lighter and lighter as I come up. So anyway, all right. We went to Ollie's today. For any of you that are around an Ollie's, we didn't have Ollie's when everybody else up north did, but we do have one now right here in Garland. And if you're into working with a planner, the planner books, they have some books of planner stickers that are on their racks for $1.99. My daughter is a planner and she draws a lot of her own stuff, and she had me pick up 3 of these for herself. So I guess they're pretty good. That's why I mentioned them. I'm going back to my first color now. Can you see how that's not really well blended? Some of it's blended better than others. Now I'm going to come in with this, and I'm going to really just start blending. Do you see the difference? That first time, I just got a layer of color on because I knew I was going to go over everything with this color again. Now, I will tell you, notice how I'm going over this. I am not taking off and coloring just across the whole thing. Do it in your sections. Because these are an oil base, if I start coloring just going across, all this will be drug into this. Not too terribly. I mean, I don't want you to be afraid of these pencils. They're wonderful. They just lay down so nicely. I do have both the Prismacolor and the Polychromos. I got them whenever I had a full-time job, which I do not anymore. So yeah, if you want to go to my Etsy and do any purchasing or anything, I have a link in the description, and if you'll follow that link, then I don't have as many fees to pay, and you pay actual shipping. I don't just put a price out there for everybody. You pay what it actually is. So anyway, what was I even saying? Oh, the pencils. So yeah, so stay in the same areas just like you did when you were first coloring them. And that way you don't have to worry about any smearing or anything. And yeah, I'll try to remember as I'm doing this to put a link also to Grizaye for the pencils, and the book is on Amazon, so that'll take care of that. They have quite a few books. I have done reviews and flip-throughs on all of them that they've sent me, and there's a couple I don't like as much, and I tell you that I don't. So I do give honest opinions. I'm going to come back in again with the darkest shade because I want that darker down in there. Now, that's still not going quite as dark as I want it. So I am going to take the brown that I brought out here, that terracotta number 63, and I'm going to plant that right down in there. Because I really want this to look like it's tucked down underneath. So don't be afraid to use your brown. Don't go straight to black. Black will muddy your picture way too quickly. Okay? But don't be afraid to go to browns. That's an okay thing. Okay? Now, I will need to play with this more. Just to get the rest of the white out. Now, this is just a big fluffy brush. You can use a brush that is a makeup brush or something and do the same thing there. Okay? I am going to move to another section. Let's do some leaves real quick. Not real quick, but you know what I'm saying. So let's look at the leaves right in here. Actually, let's go to this bunch. This has a lot of different layers in it, and sometimes people find that harder to handle. I do want you to see here, though, too. Look at this leaf versus this one. Okay? Can you see how they're different? This one has more yellowish kind of to it. It's the same 3 pencils. Let me show you. All right there. Can we go in any more? Nope, that's as far as we can zoom. So let's take a look at these. I already read you the colors earlier. All right. We're going to start with Apple, which was the lightest shade. Okay, this one's up here on top. So I'm going to put Apple here and on this bit right through here. Actually, let's just do it. Okay, then we're going to go over and look at, now see, you know that these, because at first you might look at this and think that's connected and that's all one leaf. It's not. See the background color showing through? So look at a section in its entirety to know what's going on. Now this is a leaf that I'm going to pick to do lighter, like the one that was over there on that side. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and color through here. Just get the color on. That's all I'm doing. And see, this edge is flipped from this leaf. Okay? So let's just do this for now, right here. I do like leaving the veins and the stemage a little bit lighter if it's going through the middle of a leaf. Now, second green, and I'm just going to do right there on that part, and then right here. Oops. Yeah, see, I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to remember to always use a brush to push things away, dust off the area, so that I'm not smearing pencil. I've heard some people say they have a horrible time smearing pencils, and I'm guessing that they're putting their hand on top of it and rubbing, or they're brushing away and it's smearing. So if you'll just get used to brushing it away with a makeup brush or a big mop brush, something big and soft. Okay, now see, I went around that area that was lighter. Now I'm going to come in with my darkest shade. You know what? I don't think I used any of that on here. Still the middle shade. Let's go ahead and just do some here. And this. I'm going to do a little bit more here. And you can always keep tinkering with this stuff. It's not done until you quit coloring on it. This is my third color. I'm using olive, number 32. So there we go. I'm going to put a little bit here. Do you see how that really pushed that back underneath and made it look like this is folded? And then right here is another little fold area. So if you'll look at these pieces, figure out what goes where before you take off and just put all the color in, you're going to have a much more cohesive looking coloring when you're finished. Okay, by doing the sides here, it pops this leaf up just a little. Coming in with my original color, and I'm going to blend. Just blend them together. Again, coloring in the direction that it's growing, not just taking off across the picture. Alrighty, so I don't know how much I'll be on between now and the end of the month. My son's birthday is next Wednesday. He was actually born on my birthday. And so we have some parties and stuff going on. And then we still are making 1 to 2 trips a week to Oak Cliff for the in-laws. There's just been a lot to do. They are not always wearing their pull-ups, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So just a lot going on. It's a lot. So she looked up at me the other day and said it had been a quiet day. My husband was out getting food for lunch. And I said, what do you mean? Because we've got their phones set up in such a way that no phone calls can be taken unless she calls out, or if that was the middle shade, now I'm going to the darkest, or the only phone calls that can come in is if my husband put the number in the phone. That's the only way to keep them away from salespeople. And it's time consuming, but it can be done. So part of the problem was she called out. She saw an ad and she called out and changed her Medicare Advantage. So it took quite a bit of doing to get it changed back. So, and they even listened to the recording and they could tell that she didn't know what was going on. So anyway, but that's fixed. That's okay. You know, just is what it is at this point. So there's the greens. Now let's go over and take just a few minutes on these yellows. Okay. What I'm doing with this yellow is, this is my first one. You can come in and color over an entire area because yellow is so light of a color. Okay? Yeah, can you tell I want to get this in before the video ends? Then my next color, my middle color, which is ochre, I'm going to come in and put it around the edges. Then I'm going to come in with that brown. It's the same terracotta. See how that makes it look like it's pushed up underneath that other petal. That's what we want. If you're coloring and trying to get more realistic pictures, take the time to get things that are underneath other things colored in the way they should. Okay, back to my middle shade. Yeah, I'm just not taking as long on this. This is more real time instead of talking time. But anyway, for you that have asked about us, though, I appreciate it. We do have a strong prayer group. We have a life group with church. I have ladies' coloring books. Several of them have reached out to me. And just appreciate it. I've had some of y'all reach out to me. Just thank you. Just keep praying. This could last for years yet, or she woke up one day saying she was ready. And by the time we got there, she couldn't remember having said that. So, anyway, all right. So, wow, we really did fly through that part, didn't we? Okay, so zooming back out, that's how the colors are looking. So anyway, yeah, I am going to try to come back in. Let me know if there's anything. See, I dotted it. Look at all the stuff on my fingers. The pencil. See, there's some. There's some over here. So you can dot and pick it up or use a big fluffy brush. So anyway, we'll look in the description. I'm going to leave some links there for y'all. And I will try to be back once a week. Just maybe not till next month. We'll see. I'll do what I can. All right. Thank you again, and y'all stay safe. I hope you all enjoyed the eclipse. We did. Was that not just so unbelievably inspirational? Oh my gosh. It was just like, just truly a God thing. All right. So that's it for this time. I will see you all sooner or later. And again, I do appreciate y'all. Okay. Bye-bye.